Welcome to this Ink It Up tutorial where we are going to use some of our in colors to color some Stampin' Up! Ephemera. Hello, my name is Kimberly Smith. I'm the Papered Chef, and I am a U.S. Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I'm just sharing a technique that I love because maybe, perhaps, you don't want to purchase all the markers and all of the blends for every color family, but I do want to compare. So let's pull a couple of these out. So maybe you don't want to get alcohol markers and all kinds of things. So this is an alternative method of coloring. Of course, on this channel, we do color with alcohol markers. We do color with blends. We do all kinds of coloring. So in this Ink It Up tutorial, I'm going to focus on the blender pen technique. But as I do that, I would like to do a little comparison later so you can see how the colors are slightly different as we use different kinds of tools. As I always say, use the right tool for the job. So there is an advantage to doing this particular method, this particular technique. And the advantage being, well, I think there's a couple advantages. One is you can really have a lot of control over your coloring and your depth of color and your different shades of color. But two, you can do it with just your ink pad. You can just use your ink pad and start coloring. So let's start with the Ephemera bird. All of my Card on Blue Card Club members were given one of these blender pens. And you can see that even though the tip is discolored, and it says it right on the box, these do come in a box. I just want to show you how they come. If you want to order these, you can get these now at my Stampin' Up! Store. So you see how they come. They're not discolored when you first get them. And they come in a box of 3. And it even says on the back, some discoloration of tips will not affect performance. Okay, so don't worry about the discoloration of tips. But anyhow, that's what this is. You all got one. All the Card on Blue Card Club members got one this month in your Card Club kit. So anyway, so you see how there's nothing on this tip, even though it looks dark. So what I'm going to do is dip in and show you that now I'm just going to color with the Summer Splash. So I did put a little bit of peach pie in the middle of my, it's kind of like watercoloring. It's really fun. So I'm just going to keep dipping and coloring. And I want the tips of the bird wings to be darker. And then I'm going to make the insides lighter. So to make something lighter, you just get the ink off of the blender pen and it makes it lighter. But when you want to make it darker, you go straight from dipping to coloring. So I've been using, when I first learned about these, I was like, oh my goodness, look how much I can save. I don't need to get markers and blends, and I have control over my coloring. Of course, next thing you knew, I was hooked on all Stampin' Up! Products, and I started getting the blends anyway, right? Well, that's how it is. That's how it goes. But I want you to think about this as a way of starting out. Like, just get yourself a set of blender pens and color away. So I'm doing just like I would with alcohol markers. I'm coloring the outsides first, a little bit darker. And you can get some hints from the ephemera packages that sometimes things are already shaded, and those areas are meant to be darker because you can see the little dots. That's what the artist intended, for those areas to be shaded more. So that's what I do. Now, without redipping, you're going to just take it and color in the rest of the wings. So you're going to just, right? And as you do that, the ink will just keep going off of this until you get to the middle. Now watch how light it gets by the time I get my ink off the middle. Watch this. See how light that is? Beautiful. And it still gives a nice gradation. Now what I did is I put some of the peach pie in the middle of my birds a little bit and the wing. So we're going to open up the peach pie, and we will go ahead and dip a little bit into the peach pie and sort of mix that a little bit, yeah? So it's a little bit of green, because when you give sort of a yellowish and a summer splash, you get a little bit of green. And I just thought that looked nice in the middle of my bird. Well, the one time when I tried it. Now I did it a little bit too much this time. We won't do it as much on the next one. Okay, and now I want to give my beak a little bit of color. And I'm going to use the peach pies directly. So just dip into the peach pie. And let me put on my glasses for this. Get that beak colored up. So you can see how I went straight from the summer splash to the peach pie and nothing happened. I mean, you got the brilliant color right there. So we're going to go ahead and start now with the peach pie. And then I'll go to summer splash in the opposite order. So we'll go like that with the peach pie. And then I'm just going to I did this earlier. I kind of took it and just went like that to all over my bird when I first did it. And then I went over it with the summer splash. So now we'll go ahead and do the summer splash, and I'll fix that one a little bit, areas I want to be darker there. So again, darker, darker. Thank you for saying hi when you come in. I'm just going to be in my coloring zone. Now, we all love to color, I'm sure. I mean, I find it super relaxing. And the fact that this ephemera is already printed for me, I mean, bonus. How great is that? You all got a sheet of the floral ephemera. So in your card club kit this month, so you have something to color. Now, you're not going to have the exact flowers necessarily that I have to color, but you'll have something to color. I wanted to make sure that we get to cover techniques, and not just card making techniques, but coloring techniques in my card club each month. This coming month in June, you're going to be getting a blender brush, and we'll be then doing some blending with the blender brush. Okay, see how I'm getting, that's lighter because I've already done the wings. When you stop dipping, it becomes lighter, but you can still blend two colors together easily enough. And when you keep dipping, it's just darker. So the way to clean the pen, when you're all done, and I think I'm all done with I'm going to go ahead and add my wink of Stella, of course. Of course, we got to make our bird sparkle. But when you're all done, you're going to rub off the ink and get rid of the color. I'm not even changing to the back side of this because I want to show you that we can do all of this tutorial with lots of different colors. All the in colors. Well, we use 4 of the in colors. We're using Summer Splash, Peach Pie, Shaded Petunia Pop, and Shy Shamrock. So I'm showing you that you can use 4 of our in colors, all with the same tip. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to color outside the lines on this one a little bit, because once you start coloring outside the lines, what you do is you make it look like you did it on purpose. Like, so if you accidentally color outside the lines, you just make the whole bottom of it glow or the whole top of it glow, or both, and make it look like you did it on purpose. Now, to clean it, you just go like this. It's going to take a little bit because there's a solution in there. Now, you probably don't need to clean it too much because we could, but I want to show you that's how you clean it. Just keep rubbing until the ink comes off. Now, or until most of the ink comes off. Now, we're going to get, that's good. The solution is in there still. Good. That's clean. Now, we will use something similar to this. We're going to be using the Shy Shamrock, so it doesn't need to be cleaned that much. So we'll go ahead and take that one out. And we're going to continue to use the Peach Pie. And we're going to use the Petunia Pop. So let's see. Those are my birds. Oh, the Wink of Stella. Let's see. What I did with the Wink of Stella. That is the glitter pen. Okay, have you used the blender pen before? Or is this a new technique for you? Is this a new tool, I should say? A new tool for you. Definitely add your glitter, your Wink of Stella, to your coloring, because having the glitter on things just really makes a difference. I love glitter. And I love when people send me cards brushed with glitter because it just makes me happy. It shows that they did a little extra something to make their card sparkle. But of course, maybe depends if you want to, what kind of like items are in the card. Maybe if it were like tools, I might not make them glitter if it's like the tools from the trusty toolbox. But those two are meant to sparkle. Okay, now we're going to put that on last. Now we're going to open Shy Shamrock and start coloring. So we're going to, this one, is fun because, oh, but what you should do is probably start with the lightest color. So let's go ahead and dip into that. This is just so you know, it's a peach pie. Let's go ahead and see, just double check it. Dip into peach pie. Double check that it's not mixed with the other colors. And then just go ahead and, I used it for all the stems. Go ahead and color with it. Because whenever you do anything, you would start with the the lighter color first. I mean, not when you're using the alcohol markers, but I'm saying with this kind of technique, because you don't want to, like if you're using a blending brush and you only have one blending brush, you would start with the lighter color and then you'd add the darker color to it. And you can clean a blender brush the same way I'm cleaning this, just by rubbing it on a piece of paper. And then you can use it over and over again for many colors. But I tend to use different brushes, like I'll use one brush for yellows and one for pinks and stuff like that. We have tutorials on that on my channel too. Ink It Up, about how to use the blender brush. So we'll do that some more. We'll color some backgrounds with it. All right, that is fun. Fun, fun, fun. See how easy this is? You have the benefit of having a fine tip like a marker, but you have the control of making it as light or dark as you want. If I don't redip, it becomes super light. Okay, let's double check all the areas that I make sure I have all the peach pie. Oh, the middle of the flowers I did in peach pie. So that's to dip. Give it a dip. Give it a dip. Okay, and all that. So, okay, that's good. So now we're going to get rid of the peach pie, right? By coloring it off until it goes pretty light like so. We're doing good. Close that. Okay, now we should do the Petunia Pop. I'll put that one over there for now. We'll be using Shy Shamrock. And let's put these little guys over there. And we'll start coloring. So I'd like to, just like I would with, yes, I dip the pen directly, but I don't dip it directly. I dip it directly for my blender pen, but you see I'm using the corners. Now you could do this like I do it when I teach you about the blending brush. If you're afraid to mess up your ink pads, do this, and this will work fine too. And that gives us the same amount of control. So go ahead and do either way. We'll go ahead and put it on there. And again, I want to compare, after this, I want to compare blender pen color, like the ink color directly, the marker, and the alcohol markers. So that way you can kind of see that this one wasn't even the color of the Petunia Pop cardstock when I was done, even though I used the direct Petunia Pop ink. So that's why on my card that I'll show you, I didn't use Petunia Pop on the cardstock because I wanted this to match. But it still does a great job of coordinating with all the other in colors. So I'm doing like I would with a blender pen. I mean the alcohol blends. I do that outside first. And then you can see that I'm just doing the insides lighter. And you can always make them darker. But unlike the alcohol markers, you can't lighten these up. You can't lighten them up later like you can when you use the lightener alcohol marker. There's nothing to lift this color off. So you just got to kind of go with it. Well, that one's lighter. That's what I was kind of going for. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. So I might make those a little darker. Was that your question, Yvette? Like, do I dip straight in? Was that your thing about, like, I'm dipping straight in? Now, if I am going to dip straight in, of course, you definitely want to dip on the corner. Don't mess up the middle of your ink pad, the part where you're always using it for sentiments, because you'll end up with this little raggedy ink pad with little bubbles on it. Yeah, these are a bit dark, so I'm going to go do this flower first and come back to the other flower because I want to get it lightened up. Let's go put some on this bud up here. The bud. There we go. Now it's lighter. There's just so much ink on the tip. Like, look how much I'm coloring with just a tiny drop of ink. I don't even need all that ink. It's just so much ink. You hardly need any for coloring. Okay, I think I'm going to go over the corners a little more. And they even give you little sections you can go over. Like there's the artist, meaning the artist kind of gave you little nice sections to color darker. You can see where the leaf folds over. All right, how are we doing? Oh, I made it way lighter earlier when I did it. So I got a lot of ink off of this. But that's the thing, is it's going to come out different every time. It's all good. We're happy. Happy with the results. Now, I'm not doing the entire card tutorial right now. I'm only just doing the coloring part, but I'll show you the cards. Because I have a mastermind group, I'm trying to level up. Not trying. My coach will say, don't say you're trying. Just say you are leveling up. So I'm not trying to. I am leveling up my business. So we all can use coaching. I coach others as well. I coach a group called Grow Your Crafty Business. And I have a business coach myself. So I get coached. And I do coaching. We all need to level up. It helps. It helps to have somebody else's perspective. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a leaf or a flower, so I just made that part the shy shamrock over there. Anyway, we all need to level up. It doesn't matter what you do, home life, work life, church life. It's like to reach your full potential. We all have it in us to reach a higher potential. And sometimes you just need somebody that's gone before you and forged a path that can teach you what they did and show you how to get to the next level. And then you, in turn, should help someone else get to the next level. Okay, so there's always somebody you can help, and then there's always someone that can help you. And it doesn't matter what it's in. Like, it doesn't matter if it's business or life. We all can get to another level. Okay, so that's cool. So I really like the way that one came out better than my first one. What do you guys think? I don't even know. I used the same blender brush and everything, but I just probably wiped a lot more ink off of it earlier. No wonder it didn't match my cardstock, because I must have wiped so much ink off of it and mixed it with pink or something. All right, so anyway, let's get rid of this color now. But let's see if I have anything I can ink up with that. So sometimes I don't like to waste the ink. Put that down here. And I'm just going to grab, oh, this will be a nice one. This is going to be a nice one. I'm going to do something with this one because it's a big one. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and, since I already have the ink here, right? We never waste our ink. And I always tap it off onto the paper. And I'm just going to use my purple blending brush and get in there and just sort of, ink up the edge of this. So now I can just make myself an ink card. And then next time, or later this week when I do the rest of the card club tutorials, I'll show you what I made with this card. We'll do some kind of in color design. And maybe I'll even put some of my ephemera on it. Who knows? That'd be nice to put the ephemera on this little guy. So what I'm doing is not wasting my ink. I don't know, I love these rectangular postage stamp dies. And I'm really glad that these came back into this new catalog. And the paper that was like, it's called perennial lavender paper. I'm not even that into purple. I used to be, purple was my favorite color when I was younger. But I'm not that into purple anymore, but boy, that paper is awesome. And I keep forgetting about it because it's like the piece the part in the catalog where it shows that it came back is like, they use like a tan piece or something. And I'm like, they're not even really focusing on all the beautiful purples and what the lavender looks like. But I thought about it as I was watching a show and I saw these like lavender hanging gardens in a park. And I thought, oh, that looks like our paper. Oh, that is so nice. So anywho, one of these months this year coming up, I will put, I know I'm going to be doing something for the summer. I already got the next month planned, but then the month after that, I might use perennial lavender. It just depends on if the holiday papers are out or what the online exclusives are doing. But we're going to use that paper again coming up because it's just such pretty paper. And there's lots of options for it. Wow, this is so nice. So, so nice. I think I can probably put that flower on here. All right, so what I'm doing is, because I got the one side darker than the other, so like what I do is I just kind of go with it. So bonus, you got some blending technique. Oh, yes. I think you're going to see a card made with this later this week. All right, so let's flip that over and we're just going to look over here. We're going to do the Shy Shamrock portion. And by the way, the same way I talked about cleaning off your blending brushes, I mean your blender pens, look. You see, I could actually change colors right now. Right after I get rid of that purple, there's hardly any purple on here. It looks like there is. Of course, you can go wash it with warm Dawn dish detergent, right? That'll come off, but you don't need to. You just wipe it off and then change colors and use it again. All right, so let's finish. Speaking of wiping this off, we're going to continue. We're going to wipe that off. You can still see there's some peach in there and some. There we go. But now it's off. Look at that. Da-da-da, almost off. Both sides, it's all off. I've cleaned my blender pen. It's really amazing because you're like, it's so dark, it's all purple. How could I have cleaned it? It doesn't seem like I would have cleaned it. All right, anyway, I'm going to go back to dipping straight into it because I'm more comfortable with the blender pen dipping straight into it. But I just wanted to show you that you can also put it on your stamping block. And then by doing that, you use a ton more ink. Of course, you saw how much more ink I used. And then you also can use up the leftover ink for blending at the end. All right, so what I'm doing now, and what I did earlier on my card, is I'm going for a duotone, where I'm making every other little line darker. And I just like how that came out. And of course, you could achieve the same kind of concept with light and dark alcohol markers as well. Either way, just by alternating between light and dark. But you can't really achieve this with regular marker because that just flows like a river. And there's really less control when you have a regular marker. I am glad I put my glasses on because I'm seeing double here with these. I was seeing double. And now I can color between the lines. If you have trouble coloring between the lines, get yourself a nice odd light or something, and just lighting is so important. And also, I don't know about you, but my vision is way better in the morning when I first wake up. Okay, that's double vision. Got me thinking of that song. Okay, now without any more dipping, well, except I need to do this little one. I do need to dip. Give it a dip and do this one. Like I said, I wasn't really sure if that was one of the leaves. It wasn't very clear to me whether it was part of these flowers, but I just figured it must be a leaf because I didn't want to leave it blank because it was outlined. All right, so without doing an extra dip, we're just going to start coloring the other sections. Let's see, it might still be too dark. Yep, still kind of dark. So go ahead and wipe a little off. Yep, that's still dark. Come on now. There we go. It's lighter. So I want it to be lighter than the surrounding areas. And you can just keep on coloring till you lose all your ink. It can go a while here. And you can always make the other sections darker. But you can't make these lighter. All right, they're doing pretty good. These will be better. We'll try this section. I really enjoy these coloring technique. Okay, let's do a little more. I'm doing the darker ones. You can also do dark side on one side of your tip, and then you could do light side on the other side of your tip. But it's just easier just to sort of twist as you go. Nice. This one's coming out a little better once I sort of condition my pen. Or not condition, but like get used to the way where the ink is flowing. So some people have asked me, like, how long do these last? Like years and years and years. I've only, I've used the same ones for years and years. I don't know if I ever get rid of them. There's a magical substance inside. And I don't remember what's inside. Like, is it glycerin? I don't remember what's inside. But there's a magical substance. If anybody knows the magical substance, please feel free to write it in the comments. And anyway, that stuff lasts for years. And I use these a lot. So then I just get a new set every once in a while because I love new craft supplies and I love, like, was it Yvette saying in my VIP group the other day, I love the smell of new paper. Well, I love new craft supplies. So I get myself some new ones and use the older ones for like bringing them to my clubs. I have sometimes I do kids crafts. They love this. Kids love this. So I might bring my old ones there or just give them to someone that doesn't have any. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, really like that. Like how it came out. I'm going to add my Wink Estella because Brooke, thank you, Brooke, for your comment. She's saying she's had it for 20 years. Awesome. Yeah, I've had these for this particular set probably, 5-6 years or something. I don't know. I do lose stuff. I tend to lose stuff from when I moved and things, but these kind of pens keep popping up. I might get a new set because I lose them, but then I find the old ones and I'm like, oh yeah, there's my blender pens. In with my embossing powder or whatever, like just in random places. Like I bought so many re-inkers before I found my re-inkers that were in like some bags all along. Because when I move, I try to, hide things. So I find so that I hide them, meaning I hide them so that I'm like, these are going to be in an important place and I will not forget where they're at. And then, of course, months go by and I can't remember where I put them, but it's all good. I'm not moving out of this she shed. I think the she shed is where I will live out my final days because crafting brings me so much joy. I'll move the darn she shed. I mean, like if I move houses, the she shed is going with me. It's a portable building. Oh, love that. Okay, so that's how to color. That's what we did. Now we will compare. This will be fun to just kind of compare. Let me fold this paper in half again so you can just get a clean comparison. So what I want to do is we'll do, the ink colors. We'll just do the ink colors. And we'll just do a big old comparison. So what do we have here? We just did Shy Shamrock. Okay, so we're going to take, thank you, Brooke. All right. Oh, she's saying 10 years, not 20 years. All right, well, that's cool. 10 years is a long time. Yeah, so Lisa's saying her husband teases her about the safe spot, right, to put things. It's so safe that you can never find it again for months. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm dipping into the corner of Shy Shamrock and watch me go like this, okay? Okay, so you see how I'm just kind of coloring with the blender pen. Dip, 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 color. Okay, so that's the blender pen. And now, let's take the marker. We'll just do the brush side. Look at that. See how much more ink comes out of the marker? And then we got the thin side of the marker. And now let's look at the light and dark alcohol blends. Okay, light. Okay. These are pretty close to the blender pens. I'm just doing the two together. Well, actually, I'll do them separate. I'll do them separate so you can see that there's separate colors. Okay, so that's the light and dark alcohol markers. All right, now let's do Petunia Pop. We're just going to start with the alcohol markers. We'll do Petunia Pop, light, or dark and light. Okay, Petunia Pop marker. Okay, and I'm going to now do the blender pen. But I have to do this for a second. I got to get rid of this, right? Because otherwise, you see the same thing. Okay, Shy Shamrock. Close that. Petunia Pop. I was just right here. Do you guys see it? I'm just going to do one more color after this. I'll do the peach one after this. I'm not going to do all 5 colors. I decided. Executive decision. Just because of time. Okay, so this is the Petunia Pop. So what I'm doing is showing you, oops, see that's still colored. The colors are still in there. Oh, there, I got to get rid of the old colors. But that's kind of cool, right? All right, we'll do it. There you go. So you can see that it's after you get rid of the old colors, you got the lighter. See how solid these are, like the alcohol markers. You got light and dark, but then the regular marker, look how much ink comes out. This is a lot like the regular marker, but you see, like, it's more like streaky and lighter. Okay, and then we'll just I will do the peach pie for you. Just to show you that I can get rid of these dark colors. I will do it on this side. See, I have to keep turning it to get rid of the colors. Now, many times I've seen like this, like I've been at workshops where they leave a little blender pen there just to color, like, say, some holly berries or something. Just some like little tiny berries, and like you just use one color. You're not using many colors. Oops, better get my... You're not using many colors, mixing them together in the same session. You're just using it to like dip into the different ink. All right, I got that. All right, I'm not going to do Summer Splash because it's a lot like that one. We're just going to do the peach. All right. I think it's almost... Whoa, thought I got it all. Okay, I think I got it. I got it all. I got enough of it off. Which, again, is why I use the corners. Because if not, yeah, I use the corners because if it's not all out, then I don't want to mix colors together in the middle of my ink pad. Okay, so you see how that goes? See that? Really nice. Dip, 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 and spread it out. And the important part about the blender pen is that it loses ink. Look, and that's the point, is it loses ink. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and clean it because I'm done. I'm done here. Let me see if I can't wipe it on my... I'm even wiping it on my baby wipe just to get rid of this ink. Because I want to be done with this. I'm going to still put some others there. I mean, done meaning I want to clean it off. Come on now. All right, good enough. And then... Oop, that's pumpkin pie. I gotta make sure I'm using peach pie, not pumpkin pie. Peach pie. This is pumpkin pie. It keeps on surfacing. Look how close they look. This is peach pie. All right, so the marker. Look at that. See that color is different and the marker is just darker. Okay, and then lastly in the alcohol blends, Just put that over here. Light alcohol blends, and dark. So, I mean, you got a lot of control of using the alcohol markers for using light and dark gradations. Looking for the lid for this. Definitely put the lid on so it doesn't dry out. But you just definitely want to use the blender pen if you don't have the markers, obviously. They're going to be great for controlling your ink. Alrighty, let me say hi and just show you my cards. Hello, Betty and Lisa and Lynn and Charlene and Debbie and Yvette. Debbie and Yvette are channel supporters, YouTube channel members. That's awesome. Hello, Janet, Deborah from New South Wales, Phil and Deborah and Brooke, Elaine. Nice to see you all. Okay, let's see. Okay, Yvette's saying she uses the Stampin' Right markers and the blender pen to blend the colors from dark to light. Good. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. And she does the block technique. Okay. So does Brooke. Brooke and Yvette also talking about the blend technique. Is it glycerin solution? So did anybody figure out? Hello, Kathy Vandenberg. Let's see. Did anybody look up what it was? Hello, Star. Yeah, and she's saying it never affects. Charlene saying it doesn't affect her ink pads when she blends with these. All right. No, I'm not sure. Okay, Star and Bree. Hello, Bree and Cheryl. I think it might be glycerin, but I don't know. Next time I'll try to figure out what's in this, the magical solution. We'll have to Google it, or I'll use my artificial intelligence to help me answer that. I will ask, see if it knows what was in these blender pens. So where's my cards? All right, so these are the cards. This is the technique of the blender pen, and then I used the Winkadella, and then I used a piece of the gold foil, the new In Color Designer Series paper. You Are Incredible is from this month's Card Club stamp set. So that's why I used it, because we're focusing on this month. You Are Incredible. Okay, I made myself a little banner. And then the pearls are here. These are the pearls that are part of the Thoughtful Journey. Okay, they're called Adhesive Backed Pearl Trio. And I used the Petunia Pop pearls, which went really well with this. Shy Shamrock here, Peach Pie here. Shy Shamrock background. The reason I did that background is because, let's see. Well, that's pretty in pink. That when I tried to use the Petunia Pop cardstock, like let's show you this one, it didn't quite match, even though I'd used the Petunia Pop markers. However, this new one, I think matches way better the way I colored it tonight. So maybe perhaps I might put it on. I'm not sure what color I'll put this on yet, but we're going to be using In Colors for this card. So probably Petunia Pop would work as long as I put a contrasting color behind it. Okay, now the next card I made was with the little ephemera for the bird. Oops, I already got ink on my bird, so I can overlap my birds. When you get ink on them, you can just do like this. See? You overlap them like that, and you cover that ink spot. So here's what I did. I used the Unbounded Beauty Designer Series paper, the In Color Designer Series paper, and Pretty in Pink, and made a square card. I made a square card because I wanted the card to be smaller so that this focal point, this bird, would be the focal point and not be like lost in a giant card. So those are your examples. And just again, I used the same design, you know, that gold foil, except the same design, except a different size background of the card. So I will keep playing with these and put these onto another couple of designs. All right, so what I wanted to show you last is, if I have it here, I may or may not have it here, the ephemera. Oh, here it is. So today we colored ephemera. I didn't do any stamping. Thank you, Cheryl. She said pretty cat. I knew you meant pretty card. Okay, oops. Okay, this isn't the ephemera. All right, so some of you got this, like different ones of you got different ephemera. So you all got something you can color, and there are different kinds of packs of ephemera. I just poked them all out. So we have this kind, the floral pack of ephemera. And I don't know which is which necessarily in this one, but let's say there's a floral pack of ephemera with a lot of flowers that you don't need to color and a lot of flowers that you can color. And there's lots of leaves in that one. And then there's one called a labels pack of ephemera. And I'm thinking that's where all these came from. So there's labels, pretty nice, and little envelopes and stuff. And then there is one called Simply Said, or Simply, I think it's called Simply Said, and it has all kinds of little sayings on it. Or no, not simply, something for everything ephemera, I think. And there's like little sailboats, and I don't know if I have any of those popped out in here. But there's all these different packs of ephemera. And then so there's 4 different kinds of ephemera. Actually, it would be better if I showed you from the catalog, guys, because I can't figure out which one came from which. So let's see if I can find a catalog. That would be better, because it's a new thing Stampin' Up's doing to try to appeal to new beginning crafters. But I'm not a beginner, and I love the heck out of this stuff. See this? It's just called Quick and Easy Options. Okay, so it's easier if I show it to you from here. Quick and easy options, yada, yada, yada. Here, ephemera packs. Say something ephemera pack, something for everything, fully flowering, and labels and layers. Of course, that doesn't do it justice, does it? But this sure does. Look at this page. So you can take these cards. Okay, this is some of my paper for my thing I'm doing. These are the cards that we sell. And some of my customers bought these yesterday during the sale, during the free shipping sale. So thank you for anybody who supported my small business yesterday by shopping with me during that sale. I really, really appreciate you. I also had team members join. It was a really cool business day. Okay, look at all these really cute cards. They're from 2 different packages, maybe 3 different packages. But here's the ones. Look, this is what I was looking for. You guys were hiding from me. So here's different kinds of ephemera packs. So you can color some. You can just use some. They're ready to go. You could turn them into stickers or pop them up with dimensionals. I love the heck out of this stuff. I use it for I have one more pack of nuggets so I can show you that. But I use it to decorate my nuggets. I use it for my 3D projects. Yeah. This is for one of my In Color Club members. And so I didn't send this one out yet, but I've been sent. These are Hershey Nugget treats I made for my In Color Club. That's the last one I have left. But you can see how you could just pop it onto dimensionals. Oh, that's just the In Colors we used. And just kind of decorate with them. So anyway, that's what the ephemera is. And now you got to see how easy it is to color. And you could just imagine like how easy it is to put cards together using the ephemera. See, look, there's a bird that's not even colored and it looks cute. But we colored it so it looks cuter. Now, when you use the ephemera as opposed to stamping the image, it's not going to run. You're not going to have to worry about the ink colors blending, because this is professionally printed, so the ink on these ephemera doesn't run. But it's still like sort of a cardstocky feel, but it's not quite cardstock. It's not quite as thick as Stampin' Up cardstock, but it's as thick as a paper pumpkin sentiment, say. Okay, so lots of easy options now in our catalog. And there you go. So that's the ephemera. All right, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll, give these projects a try. And, share what you come up with in our Send a Card challenge inside my VIP group. That's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Have a great evening.